Robert Weaver, and I wanted to do my charter compliance video for you for this week. And I was able to find an article of incorporation for Democracy OS Foundation, which was filed with the Secretary of State in California. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any samples that were just a fictitious business. So I'm hoping this kind of fits the parameters of the assignment that we have this week, and I'm just going to go and push forward with what we have. What I've been able to find online. And I wanted to just let everybody know up front, unfortunately when I move the mouse around on my computer, I can't talk and move the mouse at the same time. For some reason the mouse moving interferes with the audio. So I've kind of preset some things here with Westlaw and with the video, and I'm just going to try and get through this as quick as possible so I don't make a long video for you. And let me go ahead and bring up those articles of incorporation on Westlaw for you. And we have the California Corporations Code, Section 202, which covers the Articles of Incorporation and required provisions. And the Articles of Incorporation shall set forth under Section 202 of the Code, Section A, the name of the corporation, provided however, that corporation, if it is a closed corporation, would have to have the name corporation. The name must contain the word corporation, incorporated, limited, or abbreviation to be applicable under this division, is what it says here. So it doesn't appear in California that there's any really restrictions on the name. We know in Tennessee that certain corporations have to have Inc. or corporate corporation or Inc., something behind their name to designate them as a corporation. That doesn't appear so here in California given this statute. And under Section B1, the applicable one of the following statements. Subsection A, the purpose of the corporation is to engage in a lawful act or activity for which a corporation may be organized under the general corporation law of California, unless it's some type of banking or a trust company or the practice of a profession permitted to be incorporated by the California Corporation Code. Or B, the purpose of the corporation is to engage in the profession of, insert the profession name, and any other lawful activities other than the banking or trust company business, and not permitted to a corporation engaging in such profession by applicable laws and regulations. And let's go back to the Articles of Incorporation, and hopefully I'll be able to explain these sections for you. And we see the Articles of Incorporation here for Democracy OS Foundation was filed with the state. It does clearly give the name of the corporation. The corporation is a nonprofit public benefits corporation that is not organized for the private gain of a single person. It is organized under the nonprofit public corporation law for public and charitable purposes. And Section B here specifies that the specific purposes of this corporation are to educate the public on subjects useful to individual and beneficial to the community, and educate and train individuals for the purpose of improving or developing their capabilities. So clearly, from what we see, it's already. Let's go back real quick. And clearly we see that they've included the name of the corporation on the articles, and they've outlined the purpose of the corporation, that is lawful to act, and the purpose of the corporation to engage in a specific profession which it sounds like it's a trade school, essentially. So they're training individuals to engage in some type of meaningful act or employment, or find gainful employment based off of their training. Add a little bit here just to save a little bit of time, and we're looking at section C, and it says the name and address and the state of the corporation's initial agent of service of process in accordance with subdivision B of section 1502. Okay, so according to statute, the name and address of the initial agent of service of process must be contained. And what we see here, the name and address of this corporation initial agent of service process is a National Registered Agents Inc. And they're not part of the corporation, so they're actually, the one edit I would do to this is they need to add the service of process address for National Registered Agents Inc. Since it is a separate corporation in this articles of incorporation. If you go back to the statute, under section D, it says the initial address of the corporation, the initial mailing address of the corporation is different from the initial street address, and if the corporation is authorized to issue only shares, which I believe this corporation didn't have the intent to offer any shares to the public. They were going to operate primarily as a 501c3 under the Internal Revenue Code. And let's go back to the articles. And clearly the corporate address and mailing address of the corporation are the same, and they are contained within the Articles of Incorporation here. So that is in compliance with the state regulation. Okay, so I found this kind of interesting in the California statute. It says that articles shall not set forth any further or additional statement with respect to the purposes or powers of the corporation except by way of limitation or excepts and expressly required by law of the state other than division or federal or other statute or regulation, including Internal Revenue Code and regulation. Therefore, as a condition requiring or maintaining a particular status for tax purposes. And I found under section 5 of the articles, let me bring that up for you. It says under section 5A, the corporation is organized and operated exclusively for purposes set forth in Article 2A hereof within the meaning of the Internal Revenue Code 501c3. Part B, no substantial part of the activities of this corporation shall consist of carrying on propaganda or otherwise attempting to influence legislation. Corporations shall not participate and intervene in any public campaign. And Section C, notwithstanding any other provisions of these articles, the corporation shall not carry on any other activities not permitted to be carried on A, by a corporation organization exempt from federal income tax under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code or the corresponding section of any future federal tax code, or B, by any corporation or organization, contributions to which the deductible under Section 170C, Section 2 of the Internal Revenue Code or the corresponding section of any further federal tax code. And I believe basically this is outlining under the statute what the regulations are under the Internal Revenue Code for a 501c3, and they're just stating that here, since the state of California says that there's no other provisions or there's no other required provisions within the Articles of Corporation for um, how the corporation itself operates. Okay, and so in section 6 here, we have the property of this corporation is irrevocable, dedicated to the purposes in Article 2A hereof, and no part of the net income or assets of this corporation shall ever inure to the benefit of any director, officer, or member thereof, or to the benefit of any private person. And uh, I'm not sure where this is. This may be under the 50, the federal 501c3 code. Um, I think this is just a set provision that the incorporator wanted to have in here to make sure that there is a firm understanding that the corporation cannot benefit a shareholder or an officer or director or so forth, somebody within the corporation, other than somebody receiving um, services from the corporation. Okay, so the last part that I actually wanted to cover here on the Articles of Incorporation, it says, upon the dissolution or winding up of this corporation, its assets remaining after payment or provision of payment of all debts and liabilities of this corporation shall be distributed to a nonprofit fund foundation or corporation which is organized and operated exclusively for charitable, educational, and or religious purposes, and which has established its tax-exempt status under Internal Revenue Code Section 501c3 or the corresponding section of any further federal tax code, or shall be distributed to the federal government or to a state or local government for a public purpose. And I found, I believe they put this actual provision in here. Let me bring the statute up on Westlaw for you. And under the California Corporation Code, Section 8510, it says under Section A, a complaint for involuntary dissolution of a corporation or on any one or more of the grounds specified in subdivision B may be filed in Superior Court of the proper county for any of the following persons. And I wanted to scroll down a little bit and show you the involuntary dissolution under this statute, because I believe this is what they are specifically referring to. And the statute says in Section 1, the corporation has abandoned its activities for more than 1 year. Section 2, the corporation has or even number of directors who are equally divided and cannot agree as to the management of its affairs, so that its activities can no longer be conducted to advantage or so that there is danger that its property will be impaired or lost, or its activities impaired, and the members are so divided into factions that they cannot elect a board consisting of an uneven number. There is an internal dissension of two or more factions of the members of the corporation as to so deadlocked that its activities can no longer be conducted with advantage. So I believe that under California statute that, let me go back to the articles. Because of the California statute, they put this specifically in there to protect the corporation, that none of the monies gained from the corporation, any of the property, any of the assets of the corporation, they put in a provision in here where they would be specifically distributed to either another 501c3 or to a federal or state local government for a public purpose. The meaning that this corporation was founded for the benefit of the public. It was not founded for an individual's capacity to gain money. So I hope I've kind of covered everything with regards to the statutes and made some sense here. I kind of feel like I jumbled it around, and I do apologize about that. But that's my presentation. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I welcome your feedback and any questions that you may have. Okay, thank you.